Hello everyone and welcome to the Captain's Video Blog. We are Wednesday, Wednesday, December the 21st, 2016, and I forgot to go. My throat is still not better. I took my temperature and I had a little bit of fever. So yeah, it pretty much confirms that I'm sick. Why do I say it pretty much confirms? Because I haven't been able to go to the doctor, but at least gave me the occasion of taking quite a lengthy nap in the afternoon. Not that I would have really needed it, but yeah. Uh, anyway, realized that I forgot to talk about little something about Raw of yesterday night, which is there was this whole thing with Enzo Amore and his sensitivity classes. I wrote a bit about it in the description, I think, but essentially it was because he showed his dick to everyone last month, and especially to Lana, which is the basis for all this thing. Yeah, so there was Darren Young, there was Bob Backlund, Bo Dallas, and Jinder Mahal, and I mean, just Enzo. I think he's got an actual problem. Like Cass was worried about him like 3 years ago when he went on that tirade about people being soft, and he didn't look like he knew where he was going himself. But yeah, he's been really overtaken by his catchphrases and all that, I think, because I mean he went rambling for quite a while about he tried to hit on the woman who was monitoring the class, and he when they were trying to when she asked Jinder Mahal to spell his name, he was like SAWFT soft with his voice cracking. Yeah, that was something. And yeah, essentially he was, I mean, where is the boundary between Enzo Amore and the person and the character in his character? And that's probably the problem. Like, it probably runs deeper than being locked outside of the locker room and just walking around naked in the arena. I think that he has a legitimate problem, and therefore it makes it even more hard to understand how he's the good guy in the whole situation with Rusev. Besides the fact that he's American and Rusev is a foreigner, he's a big dude from Eastern Europe, so therefore he's the bad guy. He fights for the honor of his wife, he fights for his honor, fights for the honor of his country. Yeah, bad guy. He didn't really even care about the USA. He doesn't want to destroy the USA. He only cares about Bulgaria. But yeah, I guess that's just how it works. Yeah. So yeah, but to be quite honest, you have that kind of things in in the real world too. I guess. I mean, there was the match between Marseille and Bastia, and Marseille won like a very late goal by NGA, who just single-handedly calmed. He extinguished the whole stadium with calm down. Really, he did that gesture as after he scored, and it was like wonderful, because the guys in Bastia, the people, the players, and the audience, well, the crowd, they were they were the worst. Like, usually they complain about refereeing, that it's always against them, but I mean, the first card that you had was at the 60th minute, and you could have ended like maybe with 2 or 3 red cards, like at the 30th minute, so way before the first yellow card. They could have been a red card for Bastia, because there was one player who just rubbed his foot on Maxime Lopez's ankle, and yeah, that was very much deliberate. That was worthy of a red card, and he got nothing because there's the context, and the referee was also too busy calming down till then, because he was being egged on by Mustafa. Mustafa, I think it's this change in his haircut that made him such an asshole, because He wasn't quite like that before. So yeah, I mean, just there was some of the best stuff from Marseille. There was some of the not quite as good during this month, and yet Marseille had four league matches and ended up with four victories. So yeah, so far so good. Went all the way up to the sixth place, even though they could have been fifth, but Guingamp had the better goal difference. And I mean, with the winter transfer market window opening in 2 weeks, well, I mean, the only way we can look is up. I mean, there's really hope that we could end up on the podium. I really believe that. And also, Gomis is suspended for the cup match against Toulouse. So, I mean, with all due respect to Bunassar, who's had like a couple good matches, I don't want to see either him or Leia Iseka at the front of the attack against Toulouse. I want to see another guy as a number 9, or maybe just a two-man offense line. Why not? Just could be. I just want something new, I guess. And I mean, just I'm with the African Nations Cup starting in January. Well, maybe SAR won't be there. I don't know if Guinea actually qualified for the cup, but yeah, I don't know. Just want not him. That's essentially that. Anyway, so let's move on to SmackDown. SmackDown wasn't the greatest show, but as I titled my video blog for yesterday, "Easy Pickings for Team Blue" with a question mark. Well, I mean, I guess that it was actually that. It was easy pickings for Team Blue because despite not putting on the best show in their existence, well, SmackDown was leagues better than Raw. The first hour was full of talking, but they actually advanced some stuff. They weren't talking just for the sake of talking. It's just some things that couldn't be, done in the ring with a fight. You can have Natalia admit that yes, she was the one to attack Nikki Bella with a fight. That would be weird. You just kind of interpretive dance. I don't know how that would have worked, but you gotta tip your hat off to Carmella because she can push the buttons quite well. Actually, that's all thanks to Carmella's ability to really get on the nerves of everyone. That she made Natalia snap. I mean, sure, before Natalia admitted that she attacked Nikki Bella and that she said all the bad stuff about the Bellas, she threw Carmella in the Christmas tree and in the Christmas presents that were at the top of the ramp. But she also said bitch twice in her promo, and she alleged that the only reason why the Bellas got a break was because they were pretty, though you could also make a case that Natalia only got a break because she was a heart. She says that she's royalty, and yeah, that's pretty much the truth, and that could be the only reason why she got all the opportunities she's had. So yeah, I mean, maybe she wouldn't have been in the heart dungeon if she hadn't been a heart. That's the thing. Anyway, before all that, there was AJ Styles who destroyed during his title match, and after the title match, he did some, he didn't need a lot of offense to get a pin on James Ellsworth, like a couple of punches, but then he threw him on the side of the table, of the announce table, in the frame of the ring. He just did the boomerang thing and just the sling thing, just bang, and yeah, it hurt to watch. The only worst thing that he could have done was do a Styles clash. So then he cut a promo about how he was essentially going on holiday, But then Dolph Ziggler reminded him that he's actually gonna have to go through him to be champion in 2017. And Styles did the same thing that every champion, or basically every opponent of Dolph Ziggler, does in a feud against Dolph Ziggler. It's remind him that Dolph Ziggler, he loses. That's his thing. I mean, it doesn't even reach Ziggler anymore. He was like, yeah, I know my win-loss record, and then arrived Baron Corbin, who was like, yeah, but I should be the number one contender. You get chances after chances after chances. You do what? You lose. And well, I mean, it was pretty rich that he would say that, because he's actually always somewhere else, which is what Ziggler told him, and that Ziggler earned his chances. And well, Corbin was like, well, you know what, next week, and he didn't even finish his sentence, just clubbed Ziggler, and Ziggler tried to put up some fight, but ran into the end of days. So yeah, then Ziggler was pissed, wanted a piece of Corbin, and then they did the thing that I don't like, which is set up the main event in the middle of the show, and they set up a main event that's with the number one contendership on the line between Ziggler and Corbin. Why not? Then there was a match for the Intercontinental Championship between The Miz and Apollo Crews, which apparently stemmed from, well, the victory that Apollo Crews had last week on Tribute to the Troops. Yeah. But this time Crews didn't have Fluffy in his corner. So yeah, I mean, The Miz didn't get to really have Maurice in his corner too, because when she tried doing shady stuff, she was banned from ringside. And well, I mean, he still won through shenanigans, because when Crews threw him backwards at one point, there was some sort of a ref bump that allowed Miz to poke Crews in the eyes, and therefore he retained the title. Renee Young went into the ring to interview him and to ask him, what about, for example, Dean Ambrose? And yeah, Miz was like, you care about Dean Ambrose more than me, actually, because you sleep with him. And oh boy, you should have seen the face of Renee Young when she heard that. She was so pissed, she slapped Miz, and she didn't apologize for that on Talking Smack. Talking Smack was pretty forgettable. You know, the only thing that I really stuck in my head was Santa Rhino, who was apparently drunk. I mean, I guess he was too weird not to be drunk. So that's pretty much that. Yeah, he gave a little present to Daniel Bryan and said, "Oh, it's a small package. Want to kick out? Ho ho ho!" And that was actually funny. Like the rest of his interventions, I was kind of laughing, but it was more the cringe laugh, more than actual genuine laugh. Anyway, then Alexa Bliss went ahead to complain to Daniel Bryan, about Becky Lynch's actions, and she asked for a punishment, and the punishment is a title match next week. Why? Well, actually, because Alexa Bliss isn't injured. Daniel Bryan had a trainer on the phone, and yeah, she was 100%. So she had a match scheduled later in the evening, and if she didn't take part in that match, well, she would be stripped of the title, which is fair. So yeah, Dean Ambrose had a match against Luke Harper, because Luke Harper wasn't really pleased that Ambrose eliminated him last week. So Luke Harper, he's really great, but he lost, to a crucifix pin with an inside cradle. Like, that was a very elaborate pin, but through the match, he really rode off the wave of his performance of last week, because he had a great showing last week, and it's kind of a shame that he lost. But yeah, this week too he had a great showing, and he fell victim to Dean Ambrose, essentially. Like, he had most of him figured out, but not all. But when he lost, it was just opening the door for the White family to do a little pummeling on Ambrose that ended with an RKO, and Miz came to add insult to injury, with a skull-crushing finale of his own. Yep, that sure did happen. Then there was, the match of the women with Alexa Bliss fighting La Luchadora, which, obviously it was Becky Lynch. She wanted to teach Bliss a lesson. Like, Bliss was always like, "You're being pathetic" and all that, until she tapped out to disarm her. And that's, it was pretty obvious that it was Becky Lynch, but it was when she did the disarm her that we all knew that every doubt was cleared that it was Becky Lynch. But still, it was an okay match. Like, Becky Lynch can actually go with some of the lucha elements. So that's great to see some variation, and then there was a filler match between Mojo Rawley and Kurt Hawkins. They kept talking about how Mojo Rawley was a bit, beat out of it because of the injury to Zack Ryder, but Mojo Rawley won, and he was pretty hyped to invite Ryan Phillippe in the ring after he won. Yeah, it was essentially a filler match to plug Shooter, the show that airs just after SmackDown on the USA Network. So Ryan Phillippe was actually looking for Randy Orton, but everyone kept telling him, "You don't really want to see Randy." So then there was the main event, which was a pretty good match. Like, Baron Corbin and smaller guys have really good, really that they really mesh up well, because it allows Baron Corbin to do some very violent stuff to great effect, and it allows the small guys to show off their technical skills. It's just, was that David Otunga kept saying, "Yeah, AJ, that could be you," every time Baron Corbin was doing something really violent or really something vicious. Like, do you have a boner for Baron Corbin? Are you that much of a mark for Baron Corbin, David? Or do you just hate that you cannot wrestle anymore? The match went pretty well. It had a nice pace until Baron Corbin threw Ziggler into AJ Styles, and AJ Styles, just went with the chairs on both of them, and until Daniel Bryan arrived and said, "You know what? It's going to be a triple threat because of your actions. It will be AJ Styles versus Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin," which is a bit bit hard to understand, given the fact that the double countout was signaled before AJ Styles went on the rampage with the chair. But you wouldn't try to go too far to understand wrestling logic, because it might hurt the brain a bit, So but still, it wasn't the best show that they could have put on, but better than Raw, for Raw to be saved by someone, kicking the living shit out of everyone in the main event scene. It has to be bad. So 205 Live had 3 matches, 3 really enjoyable matches, though the main event was a tag match between Neville and the Brian Kendrick on one side, and TJ Perkins and Rich Swann on the other side. It was a slow match. Like, I guess you could call it methodical, because both Kendrick and Neville went really hard on Swann, but then it actually was Perkins who ate the pin after a Red Arrow. So just a little point, the Red Arrow probably too cool for a guy who doesn't care anymore for the reactions of the crowd. Like, Neville, when he arrived, actually went as far as, "No, I want to go on the corner. No, I will. I threw the cape before I even stepped on the ramp. I'm not gonna pander to the crowd." So he should just tease doing the Red Arrow and then just jump off and, I don't know, win with just kicks to the face. Maybe that could be good. But it was still a very good match. Like, lots of ring psychology went into that match. The other matches were Lindsay Dorado versus Ariadne Ivory. Like, Lindsay Dorado, very good, but the topes are just. I thought that he might kill himself. Like, he did a tope on Ivory outside the ring, obviously, but his upper body just went. He just, from this he went to that, and thank God that Divery caught him, went ahead to catch him, because he was going head first onto the ground. Yeah, and then Divery 1 said that Jack Gallagher wasn't actually a gentleman but a scoundrel, which is essentially returning the insult, which is actually pretty funny. But yeah, so I guess that Lince Dorado is just going to be a wrestler that some other guys pass around. Then there was Cedric Alexander versus Drew Gulak. Very good match, very technical match, with Cedric Alexander picking up the win, but not before Noam Dar just stole his girlfriend. Like literally, he took her off. But it was because at one point Alexander did a suplex over the top rope, but was thrown, in his with all the momentum, he was thrown to the outside too, and then Gulak threw him onto Alicia Fox, and then he complained actually that Alicia Fox was there, like, it's no place for women in 205 Live, like, what the fuck, Drew? So yeah, just it was a good match, but yeah, they're still going forward with that Roman love triangle thing, and it pisses me off. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Goodbye. It seems also that the crowds are a little more into the characters on 205 Live, so that's already better than on Raw, where they are just into the spots. Yep. Yeah. Bye bye.